On July 23rd, Foxconn, a subsidiary of Hon Hai Technology Group, signed a strategic cooperation agreement with the Henan provincial government for a new business project. Foxconn plans to invest 1 billion yuan in Zhengzhou to build a new headquarters and 7 centers. These will support industries such as electric vehicles, energy storage batteries, digital health, and robotics, aligning with Foxconn's 3+3 strategy in China. Hon Hai started focusing on the 3+3 new businesses and expanding globally in 2019. The first phase of this new investment is set to be located in the Zhengdong New District, covering an area of about 700 hectares. There has been speculation about Foxconn potentially withdrawing from China, so this new investment has sparked curiosity about Hon Hai's intentions. Taiwanese financial expert Huang Shicong suggests that Hon Hai views this investment in Henan as part of a transformation plan, shifting Foxconn's focus. Huang explains that Foxconn used to primarily produce contract manufacturing products like Apple-related products or PCs and notebooks. However, the agreement with the Henan provincial government aims to establish Henan as a global core for so-called 3+3 strategy. This strategy targets three emerging industries: electric vehicles, digital health, and robotics, as well as three new technologies including AI, semiconductors, and next-generation mobile communications. Essentially, Hon Hai is turning Henan into a hub for developing new technologies, moving away from labor-intensive work to more technology and capital-intensive ventures. Huang further points out that regardless of who becomes the next U.S. president, the technological decoupling between the U.S. and China is likely to continue. While overseas operations mainly cater to the U.S. and global markets, they are also positioning themselves in the Chinese market. This way, they can participate in new business opportunities related to assembly or technology development. Additionally, as part of the 3+3 strategy, Foxconn is focusing on projects like an electric vehicle prototype center and solid-state batteries in the Zhengzhou Airport Economy Comprehensive Experimental Zone. On July 23rd, Henan Governor Wang Kai attended the groundbreaking ceremony for the prototype center. In fact, over the past 2 years, Foxconn has made several investments in Henan related to the 3+3 strategy. Hon Hai chairman Liu Yangwei visited Henan 3 times between February and April last year, promising to build a new Foxconn in the province. On April 25th of the same year, the new business headquarters in Zhengzhou was unveiled. Then, on June 16th, the Foxconn New Business Development Group was established with a registered capital of 1 billion yuan. Its job is to coordinate the development of new industries, including new energy vehicles and batteries. Later, on January 4th of this year, the Henan Foxconn New Energy Vehicle Industry Development Company was established with a registered capital of 500 million yuan, further focusing on the new energy vehicle industry and accelerating project implementation. Although Foxconn's latest 1 billion yuan investment is part of a necessary transformation strategy, distinct from the shift of its original contract manufacturing business to India and Southeast Asia, the Chinese Communist Party has widely publicized this news domestically. They mocked India's investment environment and claimed that the Apple contract manufacturing supply chain is returning to China. The Chinese website Observer ran a report titled "Foxconn invests 1 billion yuan in China, blaming India for stumbling over its own feet." The article notes that in recent years, Foxconn shifted some of its production to India and Vietnam. However, as Apple faced challenges in its investment in Indian factories, the situation reversed, with Apple moving some of the previously relocated production back to China this year. The report claims that Indian factories rely heavily on importing components from China, which affects quality and efficiency. Additionally, India's visa policies have restricted Chinese engineers from getting visas, preventing them from providing on-site guidance in China. As a result, Foxconn's Indian factories have struggled to improve product quality, delaying production. The article also mentions that last year, iPhones produced in India had issues with E. coli contamination, significantly lowering the expected quality rate. The report from Observer also mentions that due to these issues, the iPhone 15 assembly in India faced setbacks, leading to returns and significant price reductions. Apple CEO Tim Cook reportedly visited China to reorganize the supply chain. Following these events, Apple has shifted some of its production back to Chinese factories, with major companies like BYD and Luxshare Precision joining the supply chain for the new iPhone 16, becoming Apple's latest manufacturing partners. Many videos on Douyin not only criticize the investment environment in India and Vietnam, but also praise China as the better environment. Some videos even exaggerate, claiming that Foxconn and its founder Terry Gou had to escape back to Henan. For instance, one video says, Foxconn has come full circle back to China. Terry Gou once repeatedly claimed he would withdraw Foxconn from China, but after hitting a wall, he's realized his mistake. This 1 billion yuan investment is to show loyalty to China, recognizing the diligence and hard work of Chinese workers, unmatched by other countries. A well-known Chinese smartphone blogger, Jingdao Digital, commented on social media that the upcoming iPhone 16 series will be primarily assembled in China, with BYD taking on an increasing number of high-end assembly tasks. As a local Chinese company, BYD has advantages in resource integration, supply chain cooperation, and cost control, proving that China's smartphone manufacturing standards remain at the forefront. Overall, the Chinese internet is heavily promoting the idea that China's business environment is far superior to that of India and Southeast Asia. This seems to be an attempt to boost morale among the Chinese public during an economic downturn and to divert blame onto Terry Gou and Foxconn. These posts mock Foxconn's lack of foresight and prevent public dissatisfaction from turning against the Chinese government. However, Chinese netizens' reactions are mixed. Some believe the government's narrative and mock India, saying things like they can't help but trip over themselves. Others harshly criticize Terry Gou, saying things like he's just a small contractor, nothing more. He deserves it for leaving China. And Terry Gou is crawling back for a meal. There are also comments like he had to bow his head because things didn't go well abroad, and he faced setbacks in India and is now returning to develop in China. On the other hand, some netizens are more rational, saying, stop talking, Foxconn has outperformed 90% of state-owned enterprises, and definitely more than 90%. More employees have been with Foxconn for over 20 years, which says a lot about the company. Others support Foxconn, emphasizing that development is essential and that Foxconn's presence in China can create jobs and boost Henan's GDP. Some even suggest self-reflection, saying, we need to find out what we did wrong to drive away investment. We shouldn't just blame others. Lastly, some netizens are outright welcoming, with comments like welcome to Henan and seeing hope now, no need to resign. And it's good news that they're coming back. It solves employment issues, so stop criticizing. But what is the reality? Claims about Terry Gou and Foxconn retreating to Henan, Apple's supply chain returning to Henan, and BYD becoming part of the new iPhone supply chain have all been debunked as falsehoods. According to a report by Taiwan's Economic News Daily, on July 30th, Foxconn will manufacture the new iPhone 16 Pro and Pro Max at its Indian factory this year. This marks the first time the high-end Pro series will be produced in India, highlighting Apple's growing emphasis on the Indian smartphone market and supply chain. As Apple's largest supplier, Foxconn, which operates the largest Apple contract manufacturing plant in India, stands to benefit significantly from this development, dispelling rumors that BYD is taking over production orders. Money Control, citing supply chain sources, reported that Foxconn's factory in Sriperumbudur, Tamil Nadu, will soon enter the new product introduction (NPI) phase for the iPhone 16 Pro series. Once Apple launches the iPhone 16 Pro series, the factory will move into mass production. In late November 2023, Foxconn announced plans to expand its Indian subsidiary's plant, investing nearly 50 billion Taiwanese dollars. This rare, substantial investment in India by Foxconn is speculated to be in preparation for the iPhone 16 NPI. This marks the first time in iPhone history that NPI will be conducted outside of China, signaling Apple's intention to develop India as another major global production hub for iPhones. There were previous market rumors that issues with assembling the iPhone 16 in India led to orders returning to BYD in China. However, supply chain insiders clarified that BYD is not an iPhone assembly manufacturer. Apple continues to deepen its investment in India, expanding the scale of iPhone manufacturing there, with no signs of production orders shifting back to China. In the past, the timeline for manufacturing iPhones in India lagged behind China's mass production by 6 to 9 months. In 2023, for the first time, entry-level models iPhone 15 and 15 Plus were produced in India immediately following Apple's product launch. This year, the production of the higher-end iPhone 16 Pro series further demonstrates Apple's increasing focus on the Indian market. Apple plans to increase the percentage of iPhones produced in India from the current 14% to 25% over the next 3 to 4 years. Regarding reports of E. coli contamination in Indian-made iPhone 15 units detected in the European market, some netizens humorously questioned how much contamination could lower the quality rate of iPhones, with one joking, maybe they didn't consider this at the time, and without high-temperature disinfection, many owners fell ill. In reality, fact-checkers found that claims of E. coli contamination surfaced on Chinese social media around September 2023, with platforms like WeChat, NetEase, Toutiao, and Bilibili sharing similar narratives. They claimed the iPhone 15 produced in India reportedly had shocking qualities in the European market, including E. coli contamination, fading body colors, and fingerprint smudges. To quickly rectify this, Apple and its European distributors promptly shipped high-quality Chinese-made iPhones to Europe, while the problem-ridden Indian ones were redirected to Asian markets, including China. However, a Google search using iPhone India E. coli yielded no results about Indian-made iPhones. This narrative appeared only on Chinese internet platforms and lacked credible sources. Fact-checkers also searched major financial and international media outlets, including Bloomberg, Wall Street Journal, CNBC, Reuters, and AFP, finding no reports about contamination issues. Social media platforms like X, Facebook, and TikTok also had no original information in English or other foreign languages on the topic. We can only conclude that the story was fabricated on Chinese social media. Nevertheless, this fabricated story continues to be promoted by Chinese media. Moreover, other rumors of serious quality issues with the Indian-made iPhone 15, such as dust particles in the rear camera, were also debunked. Ironically, the reported issues were actually observed in Chinese-made iPhone 15 Pro units. Additionally, only a portion of iPhone 15 and iPhone 15 Plus models were assembled in India last year, and these shipments were exclusively for Indian customers. Therefore, the rumors about the defective products made in India being redirected to the Asian market are unfounded. The Economic Times of India recently reported that Foxconn is also considering assembling iPads at its factory in Tamil Nadu. This would be a significant shift and reflects growing confidence in India's expanding supply chain capabilities, aligning with Apple's strategy of diversifying its manufacturing base beyond China. In other words, India is set to become another major assembly hub for iPhones and iPads. Foxconn has reportedly held preliminary discussions with the Indian government multiple times, indicating that its assembly capabilities could rival those for smartphones. Furthermore, in late July, the Indian government announced a reduction in import tariffs on smartphones from 20% to 15%, prompting Apple to lower local iPhone prices by 3 to 4%. The prices of the iPhone 13, 14, and 15 series were reduced by 3,000 rupees, while the iPhone 15 Pro series saw a maximum price drop of 6,000 rupees. This demonstrates the Indian government's support for Apple, contradicting Chinese media claims that the price reductions were due to defective products made in India being returned. The reduction in import tariffs is part of India's economic strategy to boost local manufacturing and more deeply integrate into the global electronics supply chain. The Indian government also aims to make iPhones more accessible to local consumers, further bolstering Apple's influence in the Indian market. As growth slows in more mature markets like China, India's market is becoming increasingly important for Apple. According to market research data from Morgan Stanley, Apple's revenue from India grew by 42% in 2023, reaching $8.7 billion US, with iPhone shipments in India increasing by 39% to 9.2 million units. India has become Apple's fifth largest smartphone market, surpassing any single EU country in market size. Some Chinese netizens have noticed the intent behind the Chinese media's narrative, commenting, "Stop exaggerating. Bashing India daily is pointless. The shift of the supply chain away from China is an inevitable trend." Others have sharply questioned, "For Foxconn, investing $1 billion is like not investing at all." There are also comments like, "Who's chickening out?" and "Who needs whom isn't clear yet. Getting them back would solve many employment problems. Begging them to come back would be good, providing us with jobs." Despite the ongoing discriminatory bias against foreign companies in China, Foxconn and its founder Terry Gou are not well regarded by some netizens. Foxconn's departure has hurt national pride, with some people saying that other companies will quickly fill the void left by Foxconn. However, this narrow perspective underestimates Foxconn's influence and the difficulty of nurturing such an industry. The shift in Foxconn's operations, signaled by its withdrawal, affects not only the company's layout but also has broader economic implications. For instance, Henan's import and export activities have significantly declined. Data shows that in the first half of this year, foreign invested enterprises in Henan saw a 66.9% year-on-year decrease in total trade, with exports down 88.3%, far exceeding expectations. Electromechanical products, mainly smartphones, account for half of Henan's exports. This year, smartphone exports from Henan totaled 14 million units, a staggering 47.4% year-on-year decline. The reduction in smartphone production has dragged down Henan's entire foreign trade figures, with total imports and exports for the first half of the year amounting to 325 billion yuan, a nearly 14% decrease year-on-year. As a result, Henan lost its title as the top province for foreign trade in central China. This title now goes to Anhui. Foxconn, as Apple's contract manufacturer, may be part of the downstream segment of the supply chain, but its extensive development has deeply integrated it with the Henan economy. The aforementioned data illustrates that when Foxconn sneezes, Henan's foreign trade catches a cold. Those advocating for Foxconn's expulsion from Henan and China might not be aware of the significant efforts and costs Henan and Zhengzhou incurred to attract Foxconn's investment in the first place. Around 2010, news of Foxconn employees throwing themselves off the building caused nationwide uproar. At the time, Foxconn's focus was still in coastal areas like Shenzhen. The public outcry and Shenzhen's industrial upgrade favoring local enterprises like Huawei and BYD led Foxconn to adjust its layout and begin relocating its production lines inland. This inland shift represented a rare opportunity for central and western provinces. Taiwanese media reported that at the time, mainland provincial and municipal leaders frequently visited Terry Gou's residence, with provincial-level visits being common and municipal officials often getting intercepted. To secure Foxconn, Henan, with its ample labor force, mobilized the entire province, offering a series of tailored incentives, including land and tax benefits. Some scholars estimate that these incentives cost between 12 billion and 15 billion yuan. During the pandemic, when Foxconn faced labor shortages, local government departments in Henan swiftly mobilized, distributing recruitment targets to townships and even villages to help Foxconn recruit workers. In Henan, government intervention to help Foxconn recruit workers is not new. An official from Zhengzhou Airport Industrial Zone once revealed, Foxconn's matters are no longer just about attracting investment, but have become a political responsibility, with top leaders at every level overseeing them. Foxconn's recruitment goals have become a key performance indicator for local politicians. From land and tax incentives to government assistance in recruiting workers, Foxconn has grown its production lines in Henan, becoming a critical economic pillar. At its peak, 1 of every 2 Apple iPhones produced came from Henan. Foxconn's impact on Zhengzhou and Henan have been multifaceted. Since Foxconn's founder Terry Gou established a facility in Zhengzhou in 2010, more than 200 upstream and downstream companies have gathered in Henan, leading to a 25-fold growth in Zhengzhou's electronics industry. By 2020, Zhengzhou Foxconn had become China's largest export company, with an annual export total of 230 billion yuan, accounting for 60% of Henan's total import and export value and 80% of Zhengzhou's. Additionally, Henan's extensive production lines provided a nearby job opportunity for Henan's residents, significantly reducing the outflow of labor from the province. At its peak, Foxconn Zhengzhou Technology Park employed around 400,000 workers, resembling a small city. While Henan has been expanding its automotive manufacturing industry in recent years, with its scale steadily increasing, the electronics industry represented by Foxconn still supports a significant portion of the province's foreign trade, and it cannot be easily replaced in 2 or 3 years. According to official data, in the first half of this year, the export value of automobiles in Henan was 14.7 billion yuan, only about a quarter of the export value of mobile phones. Thus, it's understandable why, during the recent signing ceremony between Henan and Foxconn, Henan Governor Wang Kai made an earnest appeal to Foxconn, expressing hope that they would maintain confidence in investing in Henan. Wang stated, "We hope Foxconn will further expand its industrial layout in Henan, promote the clustered development of various industrial sectors, continuously explore new fields and tracks, and build a complete industrial ecosystem. Henan will strive to establish a regular communication mechanism, strengthen comprehensive service guarantees, and create a better environment for Taiwanese enterprises to develop in Henan." Henan Provincial Party Secretary Lo Yangsheng also attended the signing ceremony, highlighting the high level of importance the Henan government places on this partnership.